If you have been in crypto for a while, you have probably noticed one big problem. Blockchain is fast, decentralized, and global, but traditional banking still runs on its own closed systems. The two worlds rarely talk to each other, and that gap has kept adoption from reaching its true potential. But that is changing right now because the financial world is shifting to a new standard called ISO 20022. This is not just another upgrade. By November 22, 2025, ISO 20022 will become the mandatory global banking standard. That means trillions of dollars in daily transactions, including everything from SWIFT messages to cross-border transfers, will all move under one common language. And this is where today's project, ISO Router, comes in. ISO Router, also known as ISOR, is a Solana native ISO-aware smart order router. In simple terms, it is built to be the bridge between crypto and the new banking system. It doesn't just process payments, it understands payment intent. That includes amount, currency, purpose codes, and even end-to-end IDs, which are all things banks and regulators care about. Here's the key part. It then executes the optimal path across on-chain liquidity, stablecoins, and compliant off-ramps. So whether it's a financial institution sending cross-border settlements or a Web3 app building compliant payment flows, ISOR makes it possible. Before I go deeper, let me quickly say this video is fully dedicated to ISOR. If you want to learn more or get involved, I will leave the official link at the top of the description. You can also pick up ISOR directly through almost any Solana-compatible Web3 wallet, making access simple for anyone who wants to participate. Now let's talk about why ISOR matters and what role the ISOR token actually plays. First, token utility. ISOR is not just a governance coin or a speculative asset. It is designed as the routing token for ISO 20022 adoption in crypto. That means whenever transactions are being routed through ISO Router, ISOR plays a role. Holders can stake it, help govern the network, reduce transaction fees, and unlock access to enterprise integrations. In other words, if you believe blockchain is going to merge with traditional finance, ISOR is directly positioned at that intersection. Second, the brand mission. ISOR's goal is clear: to be the #1 compliance-ready token aligned with ISO 20022. This is not about hype, it's about adoption. Financial institutions are under pressure to integrate with blockchain, but they need compliance, trust, and infrastructure they can actually rely on. ISOR is building exactly that, and the timing could not be better. Remember, ISO 20022 goes fully mandatory on November 22, 2025. That's just months away, and banks around the world are already preparing. Projects that align with that standard are not just interesting, they are essential. Third, let's look at ecosystem strengths. One of the most important things in crypto is whether the infrastructure is actually live, and in ISOR's case, it already is. The ISO Router infrastructure is up and running right now, and you can check it yourself at isorouter.com. They have also announced integrations and growing partnerships with major exchanges and wallets. We're talking about names like OKX, Binance Wallet, KuCoin, Web3, Gate.io, and BitGet. That's serious exposure and a clear sign that the network effect is starting to build. On top of that, ISOR is currently going through a full audit process, which is another critical step to prove transparency and institutional readiness. This is not a project hiding in the shadows, it is pushing for full compliance and trust, and the community side is strong too. ISOR is already building momentum on Twitter, Telegram, and partner networks, making sure there is an active presence both for retail investors and institutional players. So let's recap what makes ISOR stand out. ISOR is aligned with ISO 20022, the new mandatory global banking standard. ISOR powers compliant blockchain payments with real-world adoption, and it's backed by ISO Router infrastructure, which is already live today. That is the full package: mission, token utility, working infrastructure, compliance, and upcoming adoption pressure from the banking side. To wrap this up, ISOR is not positioning itself as the next meme coin or just another speculative play. It is targeting the future of compliant blockchain payments, bridging the gap between traditional banking rails and crypto in a way that very few projects are doing right now. If you want to explore ISOR in more detail, I highly recommend checking out the official website at isorouter.com, and of course, I will leave the official CTA link right at the top of the description for you. Don't forget, ISOR can be picked up directly through almost any Solana-compatible Web3 wallet. giving you easy access if you want to be part of this early. This is a project built for adoption, for compliance, and for the future of how money moves. And with ISO 20022 going mandatory in November 2025, the timing could not be more important. Thanks for watching. And as always, do your own research before making any moves in crypto. But keep a close eye on ISOR because it could be one of the key players in the next phase of blockchain adoption.